Have you ever heard of Avian guitars? Neither had we. We're going to learn all about them together today, so stick around. Hey, you're watching Alamo Music TV. My name is Chris McKee.
And I'm Cooper Greenberg.
We're here with Alamo Music Center in San Antonio, Texas. You can find us online at alamomusic.com. If you're new to the channel, make sure to subscribe, turn on notifications, and like our videos. If you'd like to support the channel, visit our Teespring store linked below for our custom-designed t-shirts, like the storefront shirt that I'm wearing today. So this video today is brought to you by Avian Guitars, Bird Guitar by any other name. And they are actually really cool modern guitars. We were approached by the company to do a review for them, and we're happy to. And I've been pleasantly surprised. So we're going to break down for you what they offer, the different tiers, and kind of what the company's all about. So we'll start with the two models that we're holding today, and there's three body shapes in the lineup. We have the Songbird and the Skylark, and then there's a smaller parlor style guitar that I actually just forgot as I said that. That's called a brain fart or a senior moment, but I'm not quite that old yet. Now, each of the body shapes is available in a kind of a tier process. And these are 2A, so these are the entry-level models, and they go all the way up to 7A. And there's a number of options that are available on each guitars, but the pricing is about $1,200 starting on these guitars, going all the way up north of $4,000 for all solid wood acoustic made guitar. So the Songbird that you've got's more of a full kind of grand auditorium size guitar.
Yeah. And this is all mahogany, correct?
It's all mahogany. Now, according to the specs, both of these guitars have solid African mahogany top, back, and sides with ebony fingerboards and bridges.
Pretty sharp. And the tuners up there, are those Gotos?
That's a good question. They look like Gotos. They feel like Gotos. They don't say Goto, and the specs on the website don't indicate that they're Goto. But I know that Goto has made branded tuners for other manufacturers. So the fact that they have the Avian logo in the back, which is kind of the swooping bird, they may very, very well could be Gotos.
Yeah.
Otherwise, they're Goto lookalikes, which I've never seen
Which are cool.
before.
Those are like my favorite kind of look, like, you know, with the Taylor high-end stuff. I love those gold Gotos, so it's kind of, either way, they look really nice.
Yeah, they feel great,
nice,
and these would, if they are, they're more like the mini Gotos. They're not the full-size ones. And a lot of the Gotos and the aesthetics of both of these guitars speak to a modern aesthetic.
Yeah.
I was talking with Josh a bit ago that they remind me of a lot of other builders. Like this, if you kind of flip it over and just look at that profile, reminds me of some Klein guitars. Not quite as exaggerated as some of his features, but Matsudo guitars, some of that. Greenfield, like the shape of that sharp Florentine style cutaway. And some other kind of design choices are definitely in that modern luthier aesthetic that you're starting to see more and more.
Yeah, that one especially over there, the Skylark.
Yeah, with the kind of offset cutaway and the beveled beveled cutaway and the offset sound hole. Now, I did some digging. What you're going to see on the website, like for instance with this guitar, it's a 44 millimeter 1 3/4 inch nut, which is typical. It's a 25.5 inch scale length, which is typical. You're not going to find a lot of other information, though, that I think they need to add to their website as far as specs, because most guitar players are wanting to know that. So I've done the homework for you. Both of these feature a bolt-on neck with a cantilevered fretboard, which is pretty cool. So what that means is, like Taylor and Collings, Breedlove, and many other guitar builders, the neck is bolted on, it's sitting in a pocket, and the fretboard is actually floating just above the soundboard, which is something McPherson guitars and others do. What that allows is that perfectly straight fretboard. You don't get the hump at the 14th fret, and you can adjust the angle as the guitar ages as needed. The bracing on these also appears to be a variation of X bracing. So just even on this one, despite the fact that it's got kind of the offset and very modern looking sound hole, it is an X braced guitar effectively, but the way they're shaping those is different and unique to these guitars. So what's the first thing, when you picked it up that you kind of thought about with it?
I mean, it definitely feels pretty thick, and it's thick. But playing it feels very crisp, feels resonant. I like it. I like the mahogany, and it kind of gives you that. We talked about it with our Does Solid Wood Matter video. Yeah. Yes, but it kind of gives you that full resonance. You feel it vibrating. It feels really nice, and it's a comfortable body. You know, it's thick, but it's not like this massive SJ kind of thing.
Yeah, typical of most small jumbo styles. Yeah,
I like it, and also I'm stricken by the looks of that one. I really like the headstock.
The headstock is a really cool feature. And you know, it's funny when I didn't notice it so much from the front, but when you look at it from the back, you realize that not only is it cool with this kind of hollowed out look, but it also gives you an A, which speaks to the name of the company. So killer feature. They should have done it on that.
Yeah.
Every single one of their guitars should have that as far as I'm concerned.
So as you move up the lines, the 3A, 4A, it's tone woods, right?
It's tone wood, so all of their guitars feature, and this is one of the things that struck me the most, and we should say, let me qualify it with this. These are designed in the USA and they are built in China. Now, they say they are handcrafted in China, and one of the things that they pay a lot of attention to is the quality of the tone woods and the drying process. If there's one thing that I've seen happen with some guitars that are built overseas is when, you know, because it's such a humid area, if the wood is not aged correctly, if it's not dried out correctly, then the guitar moves about after it's built and it's not good. You get sharp frets and wonky necks and stuff. But they take the time to dry the wood in a 40% humidity environment for 2 years, so it's nice and stable. They sort it according to resonance and weight and things, and everything that they build with from this up is at least 3A or higher. And so as you move up in that 2A, 3A, 4A with the different body shapes, you get both a higher grade of tone wood and also different selection of tone woods.
Yeah.
So like for instance, the Songbird that's 7A, I think on their website, is spruce and cocobolo. And I think it's like alpine spruce or something to that effect.
Yeah.
So you can check it out on their website for Avian guitars. But yeah, that's what you get. And the other interesting feature is, you know, these both start at about $1,200, $1,299. You can add options right online. You can order on their website. This is kind of going along with another trend, which is direct-to-consumer building. I think technology and the internet is allowing that. I have thoughts about that, but one of the nice things I'll say about them is they're very clear. Here's their pricing, here are their options, here's the time frame. You can order it, and then if you get it and you don't like it, it's a no questions asked return within 7 days.
That's cool.
So that's pretty cool, particularly because you're not going to find these in stores. So if someone is watching this video or they've seen these in the hands of some other YouTube guitar players, that's how I was first exposed to them.
Yeah.
There's some guys that I like bow down and say I'm not worthy to who've been playing these, and I'm just like, yeah, those are pretty cool. I love the aesthetic and they sound great, but you're not going to find them in stores.
Yeah.
So being able to order one on a chance and have kind of a worry-free option is great to be able to return it. So I'll say this for them. The other thing that I often wonder about for guitars that are built overseas, so the wood's covered. These are nice and stable. They're very resonant. I think I'd like either one of these. I would like to try them with rosewood or spruce for the dynamics, because an all mahogany guitar is going to have less dynamic range. But the feel on these is awesome.
Yeah, it feels really good.
There is, like, I cannot find, the build quality is also, there's no complaint. If there's sometimes, you know what I'm talking about, you'll look at a guitar and it looks great, and then you peer inside the sound hole and you see where shortcuts were taken.
Yeah, some glue.
Yeah, globs of glue, not very well sanded, you know, bracing or what have you. There's none of that here. All of it's done at a really high degree of craftsmanship. And then the neck feels great. It's a kind of like a D-shaped neck. It's not very deep. It's nice and thin. Again, modern acoustic profile. And the setup's just great. I think in part because of that bolt-on neck allows them to really dial in, you know, the neck angle, and so it just feels phenomenal.
Also, so when we received these, they were packed impeccably, like insane packing, wrapping of the guitar inside the case and the case inside the box, tons of padding. They were shipped really well, and the cases are very nice.
The cases are very cool. Concerns about how the white will look in a year with my handling aside, I really like the aesthetic of the interior and that kind of floral motif that they're following. Yeah,
it's like a wolf skin inside, wolf hide, you know what I'm saying? It's really nice cases. And we were impressed by the packing, especially because, you know, we got them. it was insane, and that's a huge concern, buying something online and receiving it. We get a lot of calls about how we pack them when we ship them out, so rest assured we're on top of it, but also Avian is on top of their packing as well. So.
And this is a trend I've seen some other builders following, but it's really taking great care to understand the humidity of the guitar and what it's going through in the shipping process and ensuring that it arrives as it should, in that right environment for the instrument. But yeah, overall, I'm really impressed, and I'd like to play some more of these.
Yeah.
Because mahogany is cool for me as a fingerstyle primarily player. I tend to like more dynamic range.
Yeah.
But playing something with kind of a African mahogany top, liking that kind of compression that you get is really nice. I think this guitar particularly would shine with like rosewood spruce or something of that combination. And that's what's interesting about this model is that they're able to do something like a Cocobolo guitar, and just at $4,000 plus is not inexpensive.
Yeah.
But for something that is really high grade woods, that's probably actually a value in the way that they're doing
that's a
it.
deal for Cocobolo for sure.
Yes. So I put both of these through their paces so that you can hear for yourself. We're going to play both the Skylark and the Songbird. So check it out. So there you go. Avian Guitars, this is the demo of the Skylark and the Songbird 2A, which is just going to get you started in their lineup. If you'd like more information about them, it's not going to be on our website because, as I said, these are direct to consumer. You want to go to avianguitars.com. If you decide that you like something, you pick your options and you choose and purchase something there, they have set up a coupon code for you for the people who watch our channel. Just use code ALAMO when you check out for a discount on your purchase. On a really already pretty well priced guitar. I mean, both of these for what they are with the specs at roughly $1,200, that's a pretty good value. Now, neither of these that we're using have pickups. It's just a hole on the end with the end pin in the case like Martin does. But you can spec them with pickups. You can choose inlay patterns. You can really choose a bunch of different things on the website, which is kind of fun.
That's fun, yeah.
You can go crazy and see how expensive can I make this. That's always a fun exercise.
That's a good time. Which do you like playing more? Which did you prefer?
It's a good question. In some ways, I liked the Songbird a little bit more. I think the bigger body worked a little bit more for my style of playing. There are aspects to that, though, I really liked. There's a certain tonal response in the harmonics that I really liked on that guitar, and I love the aesthetics. Yeah. That headstock is really cool.
Very cool. It looks like any of the wild boutique builders that you see on Instagram that do insane things with headstocks and cool. I mean, it's modern for sure, pretty, and it makes me think of like some of those guys, the wild tapping, all that stuff. It fits that kind of aesthetic, but also something like that just works great as a pretty mahogany kind of grand auditorium, classic, more classic, still modern, but it's nice. They sound really good.
Yeah, and we've been reviewing guitars on here for a long time. We've played a lot of guitars that are built overseas. Having something that's really high craftsmanship and light and resonant, it's a nice surprise. It's a joy to actually play.
For imported stuff in this price range, they hold their weight for sure. There's other stuff that we could name names that might not. But to keep it positive, these do a really good job at fitting in that range and kind of being impressive and being cool. Yeah.
If you've had a chance to play one before or you've seen them in other channels, I'd like to hear from you in the comments. Let us know what you think. Let us know what you think about the demos and if you would be interested in these guitars, if you like the aesthetic. Some people are going to be completely turned off by the aesthetic because it is a very modern aesthetic and they are not going to like it at all. But I think that's an aesthetic I've always been attracted to, is something that's a little different. I like both, to be honest.
Yeah.
And so I think there's a lot of fans, particularly if they're guitar nerds like me and you've perused various websites and you've looked at individual small like luthier shops that build insane stuff that costs 10 grand and more, you're probably going to be drawn to these. So, and if you are and you decide to get one, again, make sure you use coupon code ALAMO and get a better deal than you otherwise would. So yeah, that's what we have for today.
Nice.
These are really cool. It excites me about what we're going to see in the future.
Yeah.
Coming down the pike because, the future's bright for guitars. We're kind of in a golden age, I think.
For sure, it's the Renaissance. It was already coming, but then the last year just became the year of guitar.
Does that mean we're going to start playing lutes?
I love a good lute. Lute reviews.
And that's what I always say. The very best lute in the world
is the one that you're making medieval tunes on.
If you're new to the channel, make sure to subscribe, turn on notifications, and like our videos. Keep coming back for more, and we'll see you next time.